Whether you're in a 4-man league, a 6-man league, a 16-man league, the 7th spot is the absolute worst spot to draft from. So we're showing a little love to a 10-team PPR league. We're doing a little mock draft here. We're having a little fun. It's my pick. I'm on the clock. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, and Malik Neighbors are available. It is a full PPR league, so I'm probably leaning toward wide receivers. I have to eat my own dog food, and I will draft Nico Collins. I have him ahead of Puka because of the Stafford situation. I have him ahead of Amon-Ra because I do think Nico has a better touchdown ceiling. So we go with Nico. Malik Neighbors was a possibility. I just think Nico has a better QB. Malik Neighbors is, I'm not going to call him fragile, but the man gets injured anytime somebody opens a window, man. A gust of wind comes through and the dude gets a concussion, right? It seems every time he gets tackled, he's got to go to the sideline. Yeah, man, we go with Nico Collins. My pick's coming up. I mean, the 7th spot is notoriously dog water, notoriously horrible for many reasons, right? It's like you can't really predict the value at the turn. Like if you're drafting at the 10 spot, you can get those 2 players. You know exactly who you're going to get. While at the 7th spot, it just feels shitty. In a 12-team league, it's even worse, man. Because there's like 10 picks between your 2 picks, and you know you get sniped left and right. It's my pick again. Drake London and AJ Brown are available. I published a video on Saturday night about my PPR draft strategy, and with that in mind, I got to go double wide receiver, man. As I said in the video, you guys should go check it out. I did my ultimate PPR draft strategy video. And the overall takeaway is that you want to go wide receiver, running back, quarterback, or quarterback, running back. So we're going to test it out. We're going to see how that strategy plays out, even from the dreaded 7th spot. How's everyone doing, man? Go down in the comments. Let me know how you guys are doing, man. How you guys are feeling about fantasy this year. What types of values are you guys targeting? What draft pick feels the best? I mean, nope. You know, people rarely give love to these 10-team leagues, but they can be pretty fun, man. Sometimes there's bloat, right? Like I got a guy in one of my leagues, man. The dude has a kid. He's got a family. Pretty sure he's unemployed. He's down bad. He's down horrendous at the moment. He doesn't pay attention. You know, he auto drafts most of the time. So sometimes, you know, kicking those people out, just making it a 10-team league, it's a little bit more intimate, more personal of a league. Pause. So yeah, man. We're gonna see what we can do here in the 3rd round. I think AJ Brown, Nico Collins is a pretty solid. I mean, those are 2 wide receivers that are fairly similar in terms of their archetype, right? There's these big-bodied alpha wide receiver, you know, down the field X receivers. Not the best in PPR when it comes to volume. These are not high volume receivers that I'm going with, right? So I'm going to see if I can fix that later in the draft and get some of these scammy players, you know, the Wan'Dale Robinson types. We're going to do our best to avoid dog shit players, as we do in every mock draft. And it's almost my pick now, and I'm gonna have a look. Jackson Smith and Jigba still on the board, man. That's you know, sometimes you can triple tap wide receiver in a 10-man league, and you could still get value. Jalen Hurts goes right before my pick. I could have stacked him with AJ Brown. You hate to see it. I'm gonna go with Jaden, and just assume that a running back falls to me, which they probably will, right? I'm probably gonna get either Breece Hall, James Cook, Kyron. So I go with Jaden, solidifying the early quarterback. It's part of the strat, man. The thinking behind the strategy. You got, again, go check out the video, man. It's a long one, but I think it's pretty good. Put a lot of work, put a lot of effort into it. The thinking is that you want to get one of the elite quarterbacks, or you want to wait. Just essentially punt it, wait till the end of the draft. There's tons of value throughout the draft. Essentially skip out on the middle round guys, other than, in my opinion, I like to take a detour every now and then for a guy like Kyler Murray, because I think Kyler Murray is kind of in a tier of his own. He's not really an elite guy, but he's not really one of those like later round pocket passers, right? Like you can make an argument that he should be going ahead of Pat Mahomes. He should be going ahead of Joe Burrow potentially. I mean, maybe not Joe Burrow, but yeah, man. So it is my pick. Breece Hall still on the board. Kenneth Walker still on the board. Hampton, Kamara. I'm going to see how this team looks going Alvin Kamara. I think he's going to be so involved. Kubiak, he was the former offensive coordinator for the Seahawks, and Kenneth Walker had one of the highest expected fantasy points. It's a cool little metric. All the fantasy nerds like to talk about it. It essentially means, I mean, that's what it means, expected fantasy. But I don't know how they fucking calculate it, to be honest. I was about to talk on my ass and just make some shit up. Anyway, I think Kamara is going to be good. That's the that's the overall takeaway from what I was trying to say. So I go with Kamara. I could, you know, I mean, also at that pick, Breece Hall's interesting, but I'm a little bit concerned, man. I'm a little bit concerned that Breece Hall might get traded at the deadline. He might get sent to a team that's contending that already has a good running back, and he's just gonna be stuck in like a timeshare with like a James Cook, and we're gonna have like a James Cook Breece Hall situation. that's unlikely because they just re-signed James Cook to an extension, but you just never know, man. There's just a little bit too risk. The team doesn't seem to be very high on him, so I don't know, man. I love, dude, as a talent, Brees Hall he's up there with the best, man. Like you can make a case that pound for pound as a running back. Just think about it, man. Just 1 year ago, he was going to like the first, second round, dude. And boy, have the mighty have fallen, dude. Apollo flew too close to the sun. The man was burned. So we're gonna see what we can do in this next round. Essentially, because we're in a PPR league, I just need to check the roster real quick. It's start two flexes. I essentially am going to be smashing wide receivers here. Fill out the roster, make sure I have 4 startable high-end wide receivers to start the draft. Trevion Henderson is somebody that I'm going to keep glancing over at. The man just continues to make plays. I might actually take him here in the 5th round and then smash wide receiver. Just let me glance over. Terry McLaurin with the Jaden Daniels stack is appealing, but he's 30, man. And he got swooped, dude. This is Skynet. Ed Hef next to me at the fucking 6th spot. This is why the 7th spot is notoriously shit, man. Not because you can't get players you like, but because Skynet will fucking infiltrate you, infect your team with a virus, dude, and just snipe every single pick. I'm getting blasted by this dude. All right, back to wide receivers now. I have AJ Brown, Nico Collins. I want to see if I can get a high volume guy. I'm gonna go and reach a little for Tedero McMillan. Now, I keep referencing this, man, but back to the draft strategy video that I published on Saturday. If you're going to be taking wide receivers in the middle rounds or running backs in the middle rounds for that matter, there's a couple of things you want to keep in mind. In my opinion, this is how I like to approach it. You want to get guys that are okay. If it's a running back, if they're young, dynamic, pass catching, and if they're a little bit ambiguous about the backfield, right? Trevion Henderson is absolutely perfect, bro. We don't really know the role of Ramondre Stevenson. The coaching staff, who has a very low reliability rating on Coach Speak Index, they said he's going to be a big part of their team. I don't fucking trust him, dude. I mean, he is not to be trusted. He has like a 50% reliability rating. They go out, they draft Trevion Henderson, man. They go out after him, dude. They grab this dude. It's a new regime. Fucking what's his name, dude? God, shit. The offensive coordinator for the Patriots, Josh McDaniels. He was the former offensive coordinator for the Patriots forever. He was the dude when Tom Brady was there. He was still there when Tom Brady left. They had Ramondre. They had Damian Harris. He decided to use Damian Harris. He didn't like Ramondre. Even though Ramondre Stevenson was playing actually really well as a rookie, it was like his highest PFF rating. He had like an 84 PFF rating his rookie season. And even then, Damian Harris is still being wheeled out there, dude. Fucking slow ass, just a guy. Butt cheeks, Damian Harris, man. Anyway, dude, fuck Damian Harris, man. I drafted him the next season thinking he was still going to be legit on the Bills. I thought he'd be like the goal line guy. Homie was just on the sideline laughing at me. But anyway, back to ambiguous backfields. Those are the running backs you want to get right. Think Trevion Henderson. Think RJ Harvey. It's ambiguous. We don't know, J.K. Dobbins' role, but he's young. He's a pass catcher. So that's how you want to approach him. And then for wide, let me make my pick, and then I'll talk about wide receivers. I see Chris Olave still on the board. I see Addison. I see Matthew Golden a little bit further down. I'm probably going to go soup Matthew Golden, but a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and take Chris Olave to see how the team. I think Chris Olave is going to be a high target dude until he gets blasted, gets another concussion, and then he's drinking fucking Go-Gurt, right? Or he's eating Go-Gurt on the sidelines, like drooling. So I think he's still going to be a good pick. I mean, in the 7th round, you can't really complain about that too much. I'm going to reach hella hard here for Matthew Golden. Bro, Matthew Golden, man. I'm going to make sure I get him in every single league, dude. 8th round, Matthew Golden in a 10-man league is kind of nuts, but he's the number 1 wide receiver for the Packers. Literally, it's the retirement home, dude. Everybody is injured on the Packers at the moment. During that preseason game, Romeo Doubs got injured. Christian Watson somehow wasn't even at the game, but everybody's injured. So the Packers, they're going to be leaning on Matthew Golden the entire season. He's going to be phenomenal. And I'm going to be able to essentially pick my poison here and rotate between it. Let's say Chris Olave is, let's say his brain is peanut butter. Let's say week 1, he gets absolutely like blasted and he's just out. Another concussion. They're probably going to hold him out, put him on IR. I just slot Matthew Golden on in there, dude. But anyway, back to the draft strategy. I say that as my pick's about to come up. Let me just have a look at running backs. Probably going to take Tyrone Tracy here. I don't want to wait too long where I'm left with fucking J.K. Dobbins and like other, bust stop Magoos. I'm going to get sniped by Ed Hef again, dude. Skynet, he's probably in the room with me. He's probably oh my God, dude. Holy shit, I got sniped for a 5th time in this draft, man. I'm going to go play Path of Exile. I'm quitting. I'm going to take Jalen Warren. You hate to see it, dude. I'm going to find this man's IP address, dude, and send him a dick pic or something. I'm going to go ahead and take Josh Downs here. All right. Fuck, dude. Back to wide receivers. I'm getting sniped. I know it's a mock draft, dude, but it still feels bad. So with wide receivers, very similar. You want to go for young players, second year wide receivers, or vacated volume. That essentially means, are they on a team where there's a lot of volume that's up for grabs, right? Think about DK Metcalf. He joins the Steelers. Pickens gets shipped out. Metcalf steps in. He's now the lead guy. There's a lot of targets to be funneled over to Metcalf. That's the type of player, right? Rome Odunze, there's some vacated targets, but he meets pretty much every standard, right? He's a young ascending receiver. He's a second year receiver, and Keenan Allen is gone. Keenan Allen is actually absorbing quite a lot of targets. I'm about to whisper mute this dude in the chat. Yo, Ed Hef, you've sniped me 4 times, you piece of shit. Dude, I'm fighting words, man. It'll be hands on sight if I ever meet Ed Hef in real life. Yeah, so those are the wide receivers you want to go after. You know, avoid the guys like Olave. Fuck, dude. Yeah, avoid the guys like Olave. Avoid the guys like Jacoby Myers. These are essentially volume black holes, right? We think we're going to get value because we think they're going to be like a volume hog on their team, but they typically end up not returning value for us. I'm going to go Tucker Craft, get a little bit of upside at tight end. Usually I'd wait and just punt tight end further, but I feel like I have so many wide receivers already. I feel like I've done a good job of making sure I have a lot of wide receivers in a two wide receiver PPR league. It's my pick again. I'm going to look over at running back and see if there are any pass catching running backs that I like. This is quite the reach, but I'm going to go with Bashal Tootin. Now, typically in a real league where there's money on the line, I'm probably going to go with like a Tajay Spears or a Rashad White. But Bashal Tootin, I'm just very excited about him. I had the same excitement about Devon Achane his rookie year. Devon Achane was joining a team with like a high octane offense with a good offensive coordinator that comes from the Mike Shanahan tree. Bashal Tootin is joining a team, high octane offense, maybe. We think they might be, with Liam Cohen, who comes from the Shanahan tree as well. Liam Cohen was the dude who just made Bucky Irving an absolute thing, right? So Bashal Tootin's stepping into a place where it's not the most ambiguous backfield. It's not like the Dolphins where Achane was sitting behind fucking Bust Stop Magoo, a blacksmith named, what was his name? Fucking CJ Wilson or some shit. Like, so we kind of saw that coming, that he was going to gotta kind of take some carries, right? There was a lot of work to be distributed, right? It was Raheem Mostert and Bashal Tootin. Okay, he's got Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, who are very competent, very capable ahead of him. Some people really love Etienne and they really think he's a super value in drafts. I'm just a little bit worried. The coaching staff earlier in the offseason, they were saying they weren't really that high on Travis Etienne, which is slightly concerning, right? You don't want to draft a dude who is already getting negative reports in camp. Usually coaches will like talk up their players, right? They'll be saying how great they are, how they're looking good. They just maybe need to work on this or that. So, I think this is a good team. Let's have a look at it, man. The draft is done. We're going to have a look at this team. I go with Nico and AJ Brown back to back. I'm following my strategy of going double wide receiver in a full PPR league. I could have went with Achane. I could have went with Brian Thomas over AJ Brown. I mean, knowing that Brian Thomas is available, I probably should have went Brian Thomas there. But AJ Brown gives me a little bit of upside. I mean, that was a dumb fucking pick. I don't think I even saw Brian Thomas on the list, but it's a quick draft, dude. It's a 20-second clock. Typically in a real league, you got to have more time to look at the draft board. Maybe I would have seen Achane, maybe pivot there and go Achane. But I still like the way my team looks through the draft. Nico and AJ, I swing back around and I take Jaden Daniels as the last of the stud quarterbacks. I'm happy I got him there. Probably would have been happy with Jalen Hurts with the AJ Brown stack. But yet again, as I mentioned, that T5000 Ed Hef is over here sniping me. He was auto sniping me too, dude. The Skynet, I'm telling you. And then I come around. I have a couple options. I could take Omari Hampton. I can take Kenneth Walker, Brees Hall, Hubbard. All dudes that I like. They're like tier 2 running backs that are safe, in my opinion. They're not your riskier tier 2 running backs of pass. Your Joe Mixons who are just inefficient. These are dudes that should be efficient. They're in good offenses, except for Brees. We don't know how good the offense is going to be. I go with Kamara, tried and tested, true pass catching back, exciting offensive coordinator now. I come back around. Instead of just smashing wide receivers like I thought I would, I see Trevion Henderson there. And when I see Trevion Henderson, I'm a simple man, dude. I click the button on Trevion Henderson whenever he's in range. I then come around and get Ted McMillan for some volume upside. He's going to be the alpha guy for the Panthers. And then in the 7th round, I see Chris Olave standing there. I think, my brain turned off for a second. His concussive fugue-like state probably rubbed off on me. So I click him on accident or on purpose. Either way, I'm bad and trash. And then I come around, I reach super hard for Matthew Golden. I need to make sure I have him on all my teams. Probably could have waited. But I wanted Tyron Tracy, but Skynet strikes again in the 9th round. So I go with Jalen Warren, a little bit of upside. Great pass catching back. Aaron Rodgers is going to need somebody who can pass block because the man can't move. So go Jalen Warren, because Caleb Johnson was really bad at pass blocking. Again, watch some of my other videos to talk about him. In the 10th round, I see Josh Downs still there. Auto pick. Khalil Shakir could have been interesting too for some, volume upside. He's kind of like a rich man's Wan'Dale Robinson. And then I get Tucker Kraft to solidify my tight end to make sure I'm not left with absolutely, my dick in my hand at the end of the draft. Bashal Tuden, another super reach, but I love him. I love his upside. He reminds me of A-Chan. He's got 4.29 40 speed. He's amazing. And then I finish the draft making sure I have another tight end so that I have 5 tight ends that I can feel confident starting any given week when I'm in a pinch and I can throw them in my lineup. So I take Tyjae Spears. I know he's dealing with an ankle sprain. They're calling him week to week, so I'm hoping it's not like a super lingering high ankle sprain like maybe Cooper Kupp last year or some other running backs in seasons past. Tony Pollard, another one, his his current teammate. So that's the draft, man. 10-man PPR league at the 7 spot. Taking the 7 spot willingly, you're kicking yourself in the nut, but I think you can make it work, man. I think if you're in a 10-man league, there is some value that falls to you. I think if you're just smart with your picks and you reach, you're not going to feel bad that you get sniped, unless you have obviously Skynet in the draft room. But that's the video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment. I have a draft guide on my Patreon. Link is down below. You guys can check it out. Rankings, tiers, everything is color coded. I did so much research, man. I put so many hours into this draft guide this offseason. Draft strategy videos. Go check them out on my channel, man. That's it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.